of screening office, he has been supportive of her. Give him a round of applause. He has been bringing in good advice because he knows the area. He has been supporting. He has been walking, and he will be with us all the way until we see our next councillor at the PDRC, Ms. Sarah Sukdev.
UNC family, somebody say yeah. Today is it really warms my heart to stand here and look down. I see a lot of foot soldiers, a lot of sons of the soil, a lot of people dedicated to the United National Congress, bringing home Sarah Sukdev to be our next councillor in Quinam and Diablo. At this time, I'd like to welcome Councilor Geral Pereira, who will come on and give some endorsements to our new candidate and our next councillor.
UNC family, let me hear you say, who we voting for? Who we voting for? Where's the code? Where's the code? And who is the councillor for Quinam Morne Diablo? I didn't hear any here. Are you sure? All right, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I am Councilor Geral Pereira from the electoral district of Grunty, a member of the UNC family. I would like to say good afternoon to all the MPs who are here. Our Deputy Political Leader, David Lee, the member for Pointe-à-Pierre, other members of Parliament, distinguished members of the United National Congress Executive, members of the Oropouche East Executive, members of the Oropouche West Executive, fellow councillors, our distinguished guest, Ms. Sarah Sukdev, who will soon be, as far as I am concerned, the councillor for Quinam Morne Diablo. Ladies and gentlemen, what does it take to be a councillor? And really and truly, it's embodied in one word: dedication. Dedication to service. And I can tell you from the onset, this young lady has demonstrated remarkable dedication to service. She will continue in our fellow councillor who has passed on, the former chairman for the Penal Regional Corporation, Mr. Dipti Ramna, who did a tremendous job. But here's what. Brian Lara also set a record. Remember that? He did a big record, 365. He came back and break it. Penal DB has also set a record by having the best councillors. No shout, I can boast, because I started that team too. Go dig no hires. We are the best councillors, and we're going to set the record now with adding an additional great councillor, Ms. Sarah Sukdev. So ladies and gentlemen, I endorse her fully, I support her fully, and I will continue with your encouragement to do so. God bless, have a great afternoon.
We will take another endorsement from Councillor for Debe South, Councillor Kamla Sicharan.
My UNC team, good evening. Anybody here? Welcome everyone to this very special meeting. Today I have the honor, of course, of giving a few endorsements to this lovely young lady, your next councillor for Quinam Morne Diablo, Ms. Sarah Sukdev. Let's give it up for Sarah. You all know I came into local government with a by-election similar to this one. So I know that what pressure is when it comes to a by-election. You know, those out-of-season elections. But the ground that I'm seeing that's mobilized here, I know for sure everybody is ready for the 17th. Let me give it a yeah. So let me ask everyone to stand as we have the opportunity of inviting the Member of Parliament for Siparia, the opposition leader, the Honorable Kamla Persad-Bissessar. Your magnificent. Kamla,
Yeah, they were all yellow. I came along, I wrote a song for you and all the things you do. And it was called Yellow. So then I took my time.
When we come home,
Oh, what a thing to have done. And it was all yellow. Your skin, oh yeah, your skin and bones turn into something beautiful. And you know I love you so. You know I love you so.
thank you, Tassa boys. One more round of applause for our magnificent MP, your MP. Welcome home leader, the Honorable Kamla Persad-Bissessar. As I was saying, Sarah, we just want to, one, of course, endorse, and on behalf of the remaining 13 members of the Penal Levy Corporation, we are saying welcome. Because you're going to bring it home. Sarah, when I came into local government just a few years ago, maybe about 2 years, I think, there was the chairman at that time, Dr. Alan Sami. He said to me, young man, local government is about happiness. It's about the happiness of the people. And he said, everything you do from today on, go out and make your people happy. And I saw your slogan, for the people, by the people. And I've seen you on the ground, I've seen you interact, and I know for sure, Sarah has the heart for this. All your colleagues in local government, not just Penal Levy, but across Trinidad, will tell you, being a councillor is a labor of love. It's a labor of love, and you have the heart for it. And with that heart, Sarah, you will go a long way. So let's give it up for Sarah. And now that we have the opportunity, I want to say on behalf of you, Sarah, and of course all the members of the local government facility, thank you to the Honorable Kamla Persad-Bissessar for giving us youths the chance to represent at the local government level. So leader, thank you very much for the opportunities that you have given us. And we are going to say that on that election day, on the 17th of June, we will be putting our X resoundingly for the United National Congress and bringing home our 2 seats in this by-election, Sarah and our colleague from Lengua Engine Work. So Sarah, on behalf of your members of council and these hardworking people here, welcome. Next candidate for Quinam, Morne Diablo.
Thank you very much, and let's say a hearty round of applause for Siparia, the political leader of the United National Congress. I know every time you see her, and even when you don't see her, you remember her because of the paved roads. Remember 2010 to 2015, all of these roads have been paved then. Water has been run to all of these villages. Since 2015 to today, you can't count on your fingers one pothole that has been repaired, and we are suffering for a basic amenity as water. You have a decision to make on June 17th, and I know you will make the right choice and put Sarah Sukdale, Councilor for Quinam, Morne Diablo. The next speaker needs no introduction. The Member of Parliament for Prince's Tongue, well-known MP Barry Padarath.
Good evening, everyone. Allow me to recognize the best Prime Minister Trinidad and Tobago has ever seen. And to thank you, the people for Siparia, for loaning her to us as our political leader, the Honorable Kamla Persad-Bissessar. I see so many of my parliamentary colleagues in the audience, Dr. Bodoe, Ravi Rachiram, David Lee, our Deputy Political Leader, so many more to join us. Sanre Grande Regional Corporation, Mr. Kenwin Phillip, and I'm sure Dr. Millard and others will join us very shortly. I want to say to you on the onset that no one invited me to be here this evening. Like any good UNC supporter, we saw the advertisements that were out there, and we found ourselves here to lend our support tonight to Sarah Sukhdeo. No one had to send us a special invitation. We understand very clearly that we have a duty towards the two candidates in the by-elections in the person of Sarah Sukhdeo and the Lingua Indian Nicole Gopal. Two very young and dynamic candidates the political leader has put in these two electoral districts. And this evening, I want to thank the political leader once more for lifting young people within the party that is United National Congress. Empowering young people to be your representatives and your voices. You have seen what the political leader has done inside of the parliament and outside of the parliament in terms of the local government fraternity. And that is a testimony of the strength and dynamism that is the United National Congress and the leadership of Kamla Persad-Bissessar. I want to say to our candidate this evening that you are very fortunate. You come from the heartland of the UNC, understanding the struggles for peace, justice, and for bread and butter issues that impact the most vulnerable in our constituency and communities. I heard Gautam speak earlier about roads. He spoke about water. I recall what this constituency and this PDRC was prior to 2010. There were parts of this constituency and communities like this that fell not only in Siparia, but Urpuch East, Urpuch West, Faizabad, where you did not know what it was like to have paved roads. You all remember that? Where you did not know what it was like to have pipe-borne water. Do you remember that? Where you did not know what it was like to have these multi-story schools with internet connectivity right here in your own community where you have the Penal Fire Station. That was the development that we brought you at a national level. But you also saw it at a local government level, and Khadija shared some of that with you. And that was the vision that Kamla Persad-Bissessar had then and that she still has now for you, your children, your grandchildren, and future generations to come. And I share this with you because just like Sarah, I too came in as a very young member of parliament. I was the youngest member in the 12th Republican Parliament. And having had an opportunity to serve under the leadership of Kamla Persad-Bissessar, what it does for young people like Sarah, it empowers her to go into her community and to empower other young people to ensure that our party and our country goes from strength to strength. So Sarah, tonight, while we celebrate you, while we support you, we remind you that to whom much is given, much is also expected. Wear the badge of the that your party and your leader is any less, any second class. From the bowels of the earth, knowing what it is like to sell Bodoe and Baji in the penal market, walking to school barefoot. Sarah, today you follow as a young woman from this constituency in that vein. And that is a legacy that we must always uphold and hold dear to us. And therefore, when we talk about the integrity of this party, you must be the foot soldiers, those that go out and champion the cause in this by-election of what it means to be the most important thing, to hold our heads high and say we are UNC and we are proud. From tell our political leaders, leader, many times there are things that should be said, but you don't say it. And I understand why you don't say it. The political leader for 5 years held together a coalition in this country. And there are many things that she endured, and even up to date that she continues to endure, that she never says to us publicly. You know why? Because she understands that unity is our strength. And holding us together is the greatest value that she can bring in terms of the fight against the PNM. But we too must contribute to holding our party together in the most critical time. We are on the cusp of a general election. These two by-elections will set the pace for those general elections. And that is why it is important for every man, woman, and child even to come out in these elections. Walk with Sarah, walk with Nicole, attend the meetings, show that sense of force. And that is why our political leader has put on her boots and she's out supporting Sarah and supporting Nicole in the districts. But as I told you earlier, there are some things that the leader does not share with us. Because for the sake of holding peace and unity in our party, and this evening I want to share a little story. And it comes at one of the most difficult times in our party's history. You know, I'm hearing so much in the public space being said about our candidates, Sarah and Nicole. Instead of lifting up young people, there are some people in our party intent on pulling them down. Our leader has always lifted up young people. Everywhere she goes, she said, don't back up MP. They need to buck up on themselves. They need to buck up as councillors, but tell them how they can do better. And I recall in 2007, you all recall when Mr. Pandey went to jail with the London bank account? You all remember that? We had a rally around Golden Grove, and they were circling Golden Grove. And at 4:30, only 2 people could go in to see Mr. Pandey. Mrs. Pandey, and she chose to carry the Honorable Kamla Persad-Bissessar. And they asked Mr. Pandey, they said, Chief, what you want to eat? And Mr. Pandey said, fry aloo and roti with some lime pepper sauce. Now they arranged the fry aloo and the roti with the lime pepper sauce. And the brown paper bag by 4:30, 5 o'clock time to go in started to get oily and soggy. And I recall standing there and seeing for myself as a young university student that piece of roti went from hand to hand to hand because everybody ashamed to walk with it until it reached one hand. And that one hand was the one who said, don't send it to anybody else. I will walk in with that. And that person was Kamla Persad. And I share that simple story with you because there are those who are intent on talking to you about integrity. But we know what the PNM has done to our political leaders, our party members in the past. And we must never grow weak. We must always find the fire in our belly to stand up and fight the PNM because the PNM is our #1 enemy. And anytime you pull down Sarah Subdeo and Nicole Gopal, you pull down Kamla Persad-Bissessar, you pull down Barry Padarath, you pull down Dr. Bodoe, you pull down the United National Congress. And would we allow that to happen? Today is the day you must stand up and be counted in your numbers. That we are UNC and we are proud and we are going to take the fight to the PNM, whether it's the PNM A team or the PNM B team. We are UNC and we are proud and we are strong. We have a strong party with one team, one party and one leader, and that is Kamla Persad-Bissessar leading the charge from the front, telling Sarah Subdeo and Nicole Gopal, serve the people, telling them that the most important issues that you must champion are the issues that affect people. And you heard it from young Kamraj, who came in as also a councillor in the Penal Area Regional Corporation. When I spoke about water, I remember Bunsey Trace, you all have been suffering for water for the longest time. Kamraj just spoke, boss, and he's indicated that he came in on a by-election. And look at how well he has done today. He has turned out to be one of our best councillors, one of our most hardworking councillors. But Bunsey Trace, you all have been suffering for water like many other parts of this country. And Sarah, you have a tough act to follow with councillors like Shanty who holds these communities together. I want you all to become, especially the younger ones. You see, this year, when you become Councilor Sarah Sukdev for the electoral district of Quinam, Morne Diablo, you must find the fire in your belly as well. Because Gautam just came in about a year now as the chairman of the regional corporation. Some of our councillors are the most hard-working councillors across the length and breadth of this country. But they have found their voice with respect to people's issues, or the issue of water when you cannot get pipe-borne water, when you have more potholes than road, when people come to you about lights on their light poles not working, when they come to you simply asking to fill out a form. You have to demonstrate that you are now more socially responsible and connected to the people, because the electorate requires much more from you than they required many years ago. And I see on a day-to-day basis, particularly our UNC councillors. And I want you all to give Khadija and me, our local government shadow, a round of applause. Khadija works hard to keep those councillors together and to keep them in check and work with them. And I think that is one of our greatest strengths, that as MPs, we do not treat you all as though that you are less than us, but that we work with you to get the job done. You know, today I told the media, they were calling me, that the Minister of Public Utilities has said that they're coming for $2.3 billion on Friday, more to add to the budget in terms of supplemental funding. And the Minister said that they will not say what they intend to do about water and electricity rates. And I said to them, because they asked me for a response, I said, I am not surprised, but let us first deal with what we are facing right now. There are things that they could be doing, and Sarah, you have to champion that for that area when you go in. So when we tell them, listen, you can give us supplemental funding through the Ministry of Rural Development and Local Government, so that the Penal Davie Regional Corporation, the Princestown Corporation could get additional funding for water trucking services, that even if we cannot supply every household, we will be able to relieve the burden and the stress from additional households who are already suffering at this point in time. But $2.3 billion are nothing for water trucking services. When we tell them for Wasa, what you can be doing is hiring additional contractors. We told them right here in Bunsey Trace, what you can do is establish communal tanks, that if people can't get a barrel of water, at least they can get a few buckets that can tie them over for a day or two. That is myopic thinking, that they refuse to simply accept advice from the UNC, because we know how to get the job done, even in the most difficult of circumstances. So I say to you here in Bunsey Trace, keep the faith, keep the struggle with the United National Congress. We have never abandoned you. When you look at people-centered issues leading from the front, inside and outside of the parliament, Khadija Amin on local government issues, Dr. Munilal on national security, Barry Padarath on public utilities issues, Ravi Ratirao on agricultural issues. We have been standing at the forefront together with our political leaders, guidance, understanding what is required of us to stand in the gap for you and be your voice inside and outside of the parliament. So this election, know where you stand and know what you stand for and who stands with you in your hour of need. So I am very happy this evening to endorse Sarah Sukdev and to thank her for accepting the candidacy and the baton to take that struggle further and to stand on the shoulders of the giant of Kamla Persad-Bissessar, the best Prime Minister that this constituency has ever given to the people of Canada.
When a firebrand speaker like Barry goes, a chairman should not intervene, but I will take the chance and add something to what Barry said. He spoke of the accomplishments of the Honorable Kamla Persad-Bissessar, and I will give an example. The very building that we are in, the Bunsey Trace Community Center, is work of the Member of Parliament for Sukdev. We were campaigning in the Mendes area, and the connector road between Penal, Quinam, and Mendes was not there prior to 2010 to 2015. And it was during that time that we connected that road. It was built, and when we were there, we saw how many users that road had. Very, very much appreciated by the people of Quinam, Morne Diablo. And they told Sarah they will always remember that piece of work, and therefore they will be voting for her. Because there is tangible evidence of the positivity brought to the Quinam, Morne Diablo area by the work of the UNC. And one last one, which is very, very important, is the good man trace. And good man trace is very important to Sarah. Good man trace. And you will know why good man trace is important, and I must tell you of the achievements. I'm sure Sarah will tell the boss why I choose good man trace. Good man trace has also been, and although it existed as a track or a trace, I will say it has been created under that same period by the Honorable Kamla Persad-Bissessar, because it was paid. And the one bridge, I see former Chairman of Council, Chairman Suku is here, and that major bridge, you'll recall, was done during that time, and Good Man Trace became a highway to Penal from Rochard Road and Rock Road. I recognize Mayor of Siparia Borough Corporation, Mayor Dudat Mero, in the house. Siparia is in the house. And by association, Faizabad is in the house, in the person of Dr. Lakram Bodoe, Member of Parliament for Faizabad. And I'm sure we want to hear from him. So I call upon Member of Parliament for Faizabad, Dr. Lakram Bodoe.
Good night, UNC family. Good night, Bonsi Trace. Good night, Quinam, Morne Diablo. Good night, Siparia. I want you to join me in recognizing the best Prime Minister Trinidad and Tobago has ever seen, the Honorable Kamla Persad-Bissessar. I recognize my colleagues in the Parliament here tonight, and of course, all the representatives of the local government body. I will be brief. I just want to make 2 or 3 points. At that meeting, the last Monday night cottage meeting, which was held in the Siparia constituency, a certain young lady, after I spoke, and you know there's supposed to be a certain protocol. After I spoke, this young lady came up on the stage to speak after. So I say, what's going on here? This young lady turned out to be your next councillor for this month, for Quinam, Morne Diablo, Sarah Sukdeo. So let's give it up to her. And after Sarah spoke at that meeting, I was very pleased for 2 reasons. One is that her speech was fantastic. She came out as being a very solid candidate. And of course, it told me that the political leader and the NATEX had made an excellent choice for her to represent you in this area. So I have no hesitation, I have no doubt in endorsing her. And I say to you tonight that she will make an excellent councillor for this area. I also want to say that tonight is the start of a journey that will take us to June 17, and that will be when we win the by-election here. But it will be the start of the battle to take the PNM out of government when we come back into power in 2025. And there's a reason we need to do that, because in the health sector, there remains unfinished work. And I just want to mention one unfinished project that we all here have to understand why the UNC must go back into power under Kamla Persad-Bissessar. My colleagues mentioned that we have a debate in the Parliament, the mid-year budget review, at which some $500 million is going to be allocated to the health sector. But, my brothers and sisters, not 1 cent of that $500 million will go towards the proper opening and operationalization of the Couva Children's Hospital. And I want to say to you tonight that when we get back into power and we have Kamla Persad-Bissessar as Prime Minister again, that is the only time that our hospital will be open. And of course, there are many, many more things that need to be said, but I just wanted to be brief, and I want to say again, Sarah, that Faizabad is fully in support of you. We fully endorse you, and you have our full support. I want to close with a point that Barry made, and this evening we were in several meetings in Faizabad. And Barry, like you, when I finished my meetings in Faizabad, I didn't need an invitation to come here. There was only one thing to do tonight, and that was to come here. As you say, we all have to accept our responsibilities. We have to understand what we have to do. This is no easy work. We have a hard job ahead of us, and we need to understand what we need to do. So again, I want to say it's a pleasure, it's a privilege to be here, and we fully support you, Sarah. And all the best. We know you will win, and we look forward to you winning big come June 17th. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Lakram Bodoe. I recognize a veteran, Mayor Dudnat Miro in the house, and therefore, Miro, I ask you to come up and bring greetings from the Siparia Borough Corporation and give us motivation in the Quinam Morne Diablo seat.
Thank you very much, my brother Gautam, Chairman of the Pinal-Debe Regional Corporation, my political leader and the next Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, Mrs. Kamla Persad-Bissessar. Ms. Sarah Sukdeo, I will tell you today, people all over Siparia asking me if they could vote for Sarah. I say, no, you can't. The people in Quinam, Morne Diablo already have that covered, and she's going to win by the largest margin. I say, for you to vote, you have to be living in that electoral district. So people are eager to support Sarah. So I don't want Quinam Morne Diablo to let us down on the 17th of June. We want to double the amount of votes that Mr. Dipti got when he last fought the local government election. The entire country is looking at Morne Diablo on the 17th of June and that other seat in Lengua. So we don't want to let down the country because everybody waiting to take this PNM out of the misery. And what we do on the 17th of June will set the framework to remove the PNM when the next general election is called. I will be here working on that day in this electoral district. And when I come to your house, don't tell me you're going to tie goat and you have to cook roti. We're coming to vote for Sarah, and we want to double the vote. Siparia Region Borough Corporation fully endorsed this candidate. And Morne Diablo, don't let me down because we are neighbors. Pinal-Debe and Siparia Borough Corporation are neighbors. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. What an instruction. That means at 6 o'clock you need to be at the polls on June 17th with an instruction like that from the mayor. I heard MP said he came straight from a meeting from Faizabad, an MP of Princestown, and the mayor said, there are two gentlemen here who led a team from Sanre Grande after completing their meeting to this meeting in Bonsi Trace. Councilor Calvin Sicharan and Chairman of the Sanre Grande Regional Corporation, Kenwin Phillip. So it is only fitting that I ask Chairman Phillip to come and bring greetings and give us motivation here in Quinam Morne Diablo.
Quinam Morne Diablo, good night. With the protocol already established, I'll beg to move on. Political leader, the best prime minister this country would have ever seen, and the next prime minister come 2025. I just want to say, like my colleagues, I did not receive any invitation to come here tonight, but I find it fit to be here because I'm UNC and proud. I want to say to the people of Quinam Morne Diablo that on the 17th, the 8th Sanre Grande Regional Corporation councillors and aldermen will be here to ensure that we bring home Quinam Morne Diablo as we always do in all the by-election. In Arima, we would have brought home one of the hardest seats. Leader would have put us there, and she said, let us work to ensure we bring home Arima. It was a seat in Arima, and we did so. Chuckily, we say, leader sent us in the belly of the beast. But people love Kamla Persad-Bissessar so that it wasn't that hard or it was easy as 1, 2, 3. So I want to say to the people of Quinam, Morne Diablo, a lot of people believe that local government election is not important. But every time you open your door on a morning, you open it to local government. From the picking up of your rubbish, the cleaning of your drain, the water trucking, you name it, local government election is one of the most important elections it have. This is the one where we touch everyone. Councilors actually are beggars under this PNM government. We as councillors, everything right now we have to beg. Funding which was allocated to the corporation, we are in the 6th month and we have not received a cent under some of the votes that we deliver to you, the people. Under material and supply roads, no funding. So as councillors, we have to make magic at what we have. We have to go to external agencies and lobby with other stakeholders in the region to ensure that we get what we want. So I'm asking you all, after having discussion with some of the administration in Sanre Grande, they say the best time the corporation would have ever run us under between 2010 to 2050 when Kamla Persad-Bissessar was Prime Minister. My friend, all I ask for as a councillor is to serve 1 term under Kamla Persad-Bissessar as Prime Minister of this country. After hearing from other councillors who was there and experienced that, I myself would like to experience 1 term under Kamla Persad-Bissessar because my electoral district was one for nothing. And in closing, I don't want to stay too long. I am saying to you, the people of Quinam, Morne Diablo, that this election, this by-election here is a very important election. This election is a signal that the UNC is ready, the UNC is strong, the UNC is coming 2025 to take general election. I thank you.
Thank you very much, Kenwin. I see San Fernando West is in the house. Give them a round of applause. And therefore, we must hear from them. I call upon a young, upright individual, an attorney at law, Senator Sean Sobers. Let us hear from him.
Good night, Quinam, Morne Diablo. How are you tonight? I'm not hearing you all here at all, you know. Come on, give me some more noise. To our esteemed political leader, Mrs. Kamla Persad-Bissessar, thank you for coming here this evening, the MP for Siparia. And to your new councillor, come June the 17th, Ms. Sarah Sukdeo. I will join the list of the other speakers to say that I was not invited here this afternoon. But we were in the region, we had some other meetings that we were doing, some important meetings. And it was extremely important. We felt it obligatory to be here this evening to lend support to Ms. Sarah Sukdeo. This morning in particular, because I as well too, I will be very short. I know we have other speakers as well too, and I'm really here to hear from Sarah and from our political leader. But I had the pleasure of going with Sarah to the EBC's office in Penal Debe to witness the ballot paper for the special voters being given out to the returning officers. So as far as I was concerned, I was the only person who was supposed to be there to represent the UNC. And while we were waiting, Sarah shows up. So I say, well, I don't know what Sarah doing here. You know, I know she's supposed to be on the ground campaigning and whatnot and thing. And she tells me, you know, well, Mr. Sobers, this is my business. I am going to be the candidate and I am going to be the councillor for Quinam, Morne Diablo. So I have to be here as well. So I say, okay, no problem. We sat down, we witnessed what was going on. I take in my little notes and whatnot. And Sarah is there because the officials from the EBC are asking, you all have any questions? I telling myself, well, I had to be out here just now because we have some works and some stuff to conduct. And Sarah started to shoot off question after question. She wants to know everything about the EBC because we know how the EBC operates. And I telling myself, oh God, what time we gonna leave here? And she continued to persist and ask the questions. And the person from the EBC watched me now and said, but I thought you was the lawyer. I turned to her and I said, Sarah, we had to go. And she said, yeah, but Mr. Sobers, I tell you before, I am here. I know I have a big shoe and a big job position to fill. And I take that extremely seriously. The political leader and this party has reposed significant confidence in me. I have the spirit of Deputy Ramnarine on my back to ensure that I bring home Quinam Morne Diablo for the people of Quinam Morne Diablo, for the UNC, and for this country. And I am not making any joke when it comes to that. This is not any Mickey Mouse operation, Mr. Sobers. So if we have to stay here whole day and ask every single question until I am satisfied, because it's for the people of Quinam Morne Diablo, are going to do that. I say, well, okay. I say, okay. I get very well put in my place. So I allowed Sarah to ask all the questions she needed. She was satisfied after about an hour and a half. And then we packed up. And just as I say, well, all right, we're making a beeline for that door, she asked the next question. But that demonstrates to you, from now, the type of dedication you have in your future councillor, Sarah Sukdale. So, on behalf of the people of San Fernando, alongside Alderman Viliana Ramutasing, who's here with us, as we were going about doing meetings this afternoon, we fully endorse Sarah Sukdale to you, the people of Quinam Morne Diablo. I was now going to say that we would offer assistance, but clearly the way in which she handled herself today, I think she really doesn't need much, but we will still offer that assistance to her. And she will be victorious come June the 17th. You have a great person in Sarah, and you will have an even better council in Sarah come June the 17th. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Senator Sobers. I know the hall is packed for those who are listening on air, but we have 2 seats where 2 persons have taken up some other assignments. So those who are desirous of 2 seats, you can have them at the front. We invite you to take up those 2 seats. There are a couple more on the side. Yeah? I will now introduce to you someone that you would love to hear from, a very experienced councillor, the councillor for the district of Pinal, well known, who stands up for the rights of the people, always on the ground, Councilor Shanty, and she's also the Vice Chairman of the Pinal Debe Regional Corporation. Give her a round of applause as she comes up to give advice to our new councillor.
Good night, people of Quinam Morne Diablo. How you feeling? You ready for the election? That is what we're talking about. Thank you, Chairman. Our beloved Member of Parliament for Siparia. For over 24 years, we all have been supporting our leader, our Member of Parliament. Put your hands together for our political leader and our Member of Parliament. And our winning candidate who will join us shortly in the Pinal Debe Regional Corporation, Sarah Sukdale. Sarah, you win already, but talk cheap. The day for the election is when we have to pull out those votes. That is when we know. Put your X by Sarah. And our Member of Parliament for Pointe-a-Pierre, MP David Lee, and all members of Parliament, our Pepper House, Barry Padarath, put your hands together for when MP Barry don't talk. There's no what to say after, So I want to say something tonight. Something that bothered me a little while ago. And I know as women in politics and our UNC women, our leader have given us the opportunity to serve. We have 4 women in the Pinal Debe Regional Corporation. Councillor Mohini Ramnarine, stand up. Councillor Kimwati Chulhan. Alderman Marsha Jaimangal Khan. I don't think she is here right now. And yours truly, Shanty Bodram. And we are here to serve the people and not ourselves. When you do not get a seat, that doesn't mean to say you jump out of the UNC and you say, Kamla is my sister. I never know, leader, I never know you had a sister looking like that. Oh my God. But leader, we will fill that seat with Sarah Sukdeo, and we will bring home the UNC. We will bring home. We will bring it home, Chairman. You do not fight a war and go and embrace the enemy. That is what they are doing right now. One of them called themselves manager in the corporation. Chairman, manager? I never know the corporation have a manager. I know the corporation have a chief executive officer. That is what the corporation have. And road officers, chargemen, that is what we have. And you want to come there to say you're a manager? What you managing in the corporation? Huh? You coming to manage what? We have competent councillors who can manage the corporation under the Kamla person and on our chairman. Don't come to manage. We want to get rid of you. And the next one who put on red and say she is Kamla's sister. Oh boy. All you make sure that on election day on June the
distribution and getting water for the people. If you can't manage a basic thing like water and you cannot manage repairing roads, you are no manager, and the corporation does not have any manager. Okay, she's right, Councillor Bodram is right. We have a number of other councillors. I'll ask them for short endorsements. Councillor Mohini of Union Esperance, Debe East. Councillor Mohini Ramnarain.
Great political leader, esteemed colleagues, and the good people of Quinam, Morne Diablo, good evening. You know, local government is on the ground. So yesterday, I made my trek down to Mendes Trace. The energy was high. Sarah Sukdeo, you have it. But as our leader always says, election is won on election day. Come out and vote resoundingly for the United National Congress. Come out and vote from the devotee from the mandir, your sister from the village. Ladies and gentlemen, 6 a.m., Monday, June 17th. Cast your vote for the United National Congress and put Sarah Sukdeo to represent you. Good night, and may God bless us all.
Thank you very much, Councillor for Barapur West, Councillor Nicholas Kanhai, and Chairperson for the Finance Committee at the Penal Labour Regional Corporation, bringing endorsement.
Pleasant good evening, everyone, political leader, MPs, councillor, colleagues. You know, when I first met Sarah, she reminded me a lot of myself. Even before entering into politics, Sarah has been involved at the Mandir, the community councils, the sports clubs. She has been involved in charity drives, flood relief efforts, disaster relief, so many different things. And Sarah is now basically putting a title to all that she has been doing before. So I really want to endorse everything that my colleagues have said before. On the 17th of June, like Councillor Meru said, look out for me. I will be on the ground as well. When we come by your home, we're going to take you out to vote. So all the love, all the energy that we have felt on the ground thus far, we're looking forward to build that momentum until the 17th of June, and we're looking forward to your support on the 17th. Sarah, welcome home to the Penal Labour Regional Corporation.
Thank you very much, Councillor Nick. You see, he was short. He's the tallest councillor in the corporation. I invite to the podium Councillor Krishna Persad Singh, La Fortune.
Thank you, Chairman. Good night, brothers and sisters, honorable political leader. I met Sarah a few days ago. I am one of the newer councillors. I took the call in 2019 when the Honorable Kamla Persad-Bissessar asked us to come together and help rebuild this country. We saw unprecedented development in this country from 2010 to 2015. We saw schools, hospitals, police stations, roads, increase in the water infrastructure, increase in the investments in water production, increase in the people of Trinidad and Tobago. Our government has always been a people-centered government. And it's no mistake that Sarah chose to have the word people twice in her campaign. When I met Sarah over the last few days, you feel the energy, you feel the commitment. I have no doubt in my mind, brothers and sisters, that on June 17th, we will come and we will take Quinam Morne Diablo by storm. We will increase the voter count. Because, brothers and sisters, June the 17th is the resurgence of the UNC on our way back to government and the return to Trinidad and Tobago of Kamla Persad-Bissessar as the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago. On June the 17th, we will send a powerful signal to the PNM that this country, the people matters, and we have the most caring, energetic, focused leader who cares about the people. And Sarah, we will welcome you on June the 17th, and we will join hands with our political leader as we rescue Trinidad and Tobago. I thank you, my brothers and sisters, and I fully endorse and support Sarah Sukdev of Quinam Morne Diablo. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Councillor. It is said the chip don't fall far from the block. And Sarah Sukdev, Councillor Sarah Sukdev, has been working in the office of the Member of Parliament for Siparia for many years. And I'm sure a lot have rubbed off on her in terms of compassion, care, and love. Because one of the bedrock principles that she stands on is love for the people, care for the people, and compassion. As she goes about, it is almost so visible and so much to feel that the people themselves respond with love and embrace and have committed on the walkabout that they are definitely putting the X next to the rising sun for Sarah Sukdev on June 17th. And therefore, the time is now for us to hear from Councillor Sarah Sukdev for the electoral district of Quinam Morne Diablo.
A pleasant afternoon to my UNC family. Our honorable political leader and the best Prime Minister Trinidad and Tobago has ever seen, the Honorable Mrs. Kamla Persad-Bissessar. Members of Parliament, Chairman of PDRC, Mr. Gautam Maharaj, other Chairman, the Mayor of Siparia Borough Corporation, Mr. Dudnat Nehru, and other local government representatives, members of the National Executive, I must mention Dr. and Mrs. Ripnarain and my Quinam Morne Diablo warriors. Let me hear you. It gives me great pleasure to stand here as your UNC candidate for the electoral district of Quinam Morne Diablo. I come to you not as Sarah Sukdev, but as a daughter of your soil, a foot soldier of the United National Congress, and as the daughter, as you all will commonly know me as, be daughter of the doubles man. I come to you as your candidate for Quinam Morne Diablo. My commitment is to make myself available to serve you and our community whenever you need me. I would like to take you down memory lane. Do you all remember the quality of life we lived during the time of 2010 to 2015? Do you all remember? Under the People's Partnership Government, we experienced the best time in our life. Do you all agree? Since 2015 to date, 9 years, We as a community have been plagued by only hardship and neglect under our current government. Do you all agree? They are coming to your doors, asking you and telling you and promising you they will bring betterment to you. Do you think they are capable of doing that? Do you think they are capable of doing that? Sometimes it takes us months before we get water in our pipelines. Do you all agree? Months before we get water in our pipelines. Family are without water. Children are unable to go to school because in this area we have 1 and 2 uniforms. When you wash one, sometimes the rain fall and it is dry. They can't go to school because we don't have water. We are suffering, but yet still they are coming to your doors to promise you representation. Do you think we should run them? This clearly demonstrates poor leadership and management under the present government. So anyone comes to you from that party, they clearly shows that they have a track record that they are capable of not serving the people. And better yet, if they come and they tell you there's a manager. I am hearing of managers in the area promising to bring betterment. How can you bring betterment if you can't provide the basic amenities such as water? The United National Congress has demonstrated a track record that they can deliver. These roads that we drive on, they were paved between 2010 and 2015. They were extremely bad. Some of them was impassable. Goodman Trace, for example. Since then, today I ask you the question, have you seen any road paving in our area? Do you continue to drive in deep, large potholes with no signs of road repairs being done? This we reject. We reject any party or any candidate who cannot give us basic infrastructure, such as proper roads to drive on, because we are all taxpayers, and any taxpaying public deserves to have road, repair, and water. Do you all agree? We are on the brink of the rainy season. I want to ask those who are purporting to bring change, how much money has been released for drainage, clearing of water courses, and the building and repairs of bridges? The information that I have is $0. You hear me? $0. And we are on the brink of the rainy season. Quinam, Morne Diablo has been plagued by flooding, and yet still this government, they never came forward to address the issue of flooding. This is 7+ months since the budget, and no releases have been made. I am asking them, I am throwing the question out to them. Let them tell you they are working. Let them tell you how much money they have released to deal with the flooding in the area. On June 17th, when you vote me as your next councillor, I will have the information to come back and confirm it is $0 they have issued towards flooding. Their management of flooding has been so poor because they have been unable to demonstrate any capability in any other area. So it appears that we have to fend for ourselves. We are marooned in our houses when it floods, and they claim to care, and they claim to bring you representation. Quinam, Morne Diablo, do you think they can bring you representation? I come to you and I ask you, as my political leader says, accept me as a woman. Don't mistake my kindness and compassion and feminine energy as my weakness. This is why I am here, to be able to take up the mantle and be your voice to represent you. Let us stand together and work together to ensure the safety, progress, and prosperity of Quinam, Morne Diablo. Don't be fooled by what is being wrapped in the t-shirts and given to you. Do not be fooled by that. If they do not care, they can't come to you. we are going to take Quinam Morne Diablo back home come 17th of June 2024. I thank you.
You heard it, ample testimony of a very able councillor to enter the chambers of the Pinal-Debe Regional Corporation, the fortress. Let us hear it for the new councillor, Councillor Sarah Sukdale. In council, they call me elephant memory because I remember so many things, right? Krishna is laughing. I want to just take you down memory lane, the lane of performance by the Member of Parliament for Siparia and political leader of the United National Congress. When the United National Congress made government in 2010, one of the first projects, in addition to the Clean and Beautify, was the Morne Diablo fish facility. Who remembers that? We went down there, we did a revamp, a renovation, a satellite phone system was put up, and so that the fishermen of Morne Diablo could apply their trade. I reminded them, MP, that one of the first projects that you undertook was the Morne Diablo fishing facility in this electoral district, where the satellite phone and the landing site and so on was yes, and today it's no more. The fishermen and their families are suffering. In the Quinam area, in the Mendes area, schools were built. We spoke of the roads and a little extending outside because everything is connected, despite in the Quinam and Diablo district alone. A fire station was put up. And this year, we saw the vision of that fire station where there were so many bushfires, so many families affected. Unfortunately, since then having been built, it's a fire station without a fire truck. The current government has been unable to outfit it with a fire truck, and there was a fire opposite the fire station. And it was so unfortunate and sad to see that the firemen were powerless because they had no truck. But what is a most touching performance delivery was the university in South. Because those who have gone to the University of the West Indies in the past would know the traumas that parents face, having to pack bags for 2 weeks, having to accumulate rent by selling in the market and selling milk and so on to accumulate that rent to pay. And this facility in South would have not only served Debe, it would have served the entire southern region so that our children, our sons and daughters could have been safe. We would have had a peace of mind, especially in this crime out of control time that the government cannot manage. These are the performances that we must look at, and when we go to vote, it must resonate in our minds, and we must place our X next to the United National Congress candidate, Sarah Sukdale. Without further ado, I give to you someone that I need not introduce anymore, the Member of Parliament for Siparia, the political leader of the United National Congress, and the next Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, the Honorable Kamla Persad-Bissessar.
Thank you all, thank you. I love that song, so let's look at the stars. See how they shine for you and everything you do, and they are all yellow. Yellow is the code. The code is yellow. So good night to all of you. I'm very happy to be here. Chairman, thank you for chairing our proceedings, Chairman of the PDRC. Our next local government councillor for Quinam Morne Diablo, Sarah, other councillors present, and can I say PDRC, the Pinal-Debe Corporation, is a UNC fortress. It is a UNC fortress. And we must not let any interlopers in red enter the PDRC. All the councillors in the PDRC and the aldermen, they are all yellow. So, councillors present tonight who spoke, you see why they call Shanty the Shanty Brigade. Give her a round of applause, Morne. The other councillors who are here tonight, I'm very happy you could join us. Ladies and gentlemen, and of course there are people joining us on the live streams now, so around the country and across the globe. We say good night, welcome to all of you. Tonight we are here as part of our local government election campaign for the by-election, as you know, the district Quinam, Morne Diablo. Now, before I get into that, I remember Bunsey Trace so well. So I said, good night to Bunsey Trace. Good night. When I first came here, many moons ago, early days ago, I met with you in Bunsey Trace in a carrot shed. Does anybody here remember that, or you're too young? The council was in a carrot shed. And today, praise be to God, that you got the opportunity to build this village council hall. But there were great meetings we would have in that carrot shed. And Barry talked about aloo and roti. Well, that is one of my favorite dishes. Maybe that's why I was happy to tote it back and carry it inside. One of my favorite dishes. So this by-election came about due to the sad passing of Councilor Dipti Ramnath, December last year. He had served at the PDRC for over 30 years. 30 years. And again, our great party, before his passing, we were able to give him what he always wanted, but he had to serve his dues. That is for him to become the chairman of the PDRC. So let us take a moment to reflect and pay tribute for his long years of service to the people of Quinam, Morne Diablo. I say the best way to honor Mr. Dipti's legacy is elect with a resounding majority this young, dynamic woman we have now put here as your candidate, Sarah Sukhdev. Be prepared to come out on Monday, June 17th, in large numbers. Now vote for the UNC. I mean, you say you're going to vote for the UNC, but when you're going there, it is a symbol that you must look for. You must put your X next to the rising sun. Next to the rising sun. And vote UNC. We must show this heartless or wicked rowdy government that we the people will be stand up once and for all to their corruption, their destruction and their incompetence. We will teach them a lesson, send them a message by voting the PNM out here in Quinam, Morne Diablo, and thereafter in any election. In Lengua, Indian Walk as well. I ask you, are you UNC and proud? Well, say it with me, we are UNC and we are proud. We are proud. Never mind the naysayers who feel yellow looking too much like dull water. I am yellow in my heart. I'm yellow through and through, and we are all yellow and proud. Like you, I can hardly recognize our country that I left in 2015 when I went out of office as Prime Minister. It feels as though we've been thrown back in time. The economy is in shambles due to PNM mismanagement. Citizens are being forced to bear the brunt of their incompetence. This government is broke, it is bankrupt. Under this government, our country is on the brink of utter collapse and destruction. Runaway crime, rampant government corruption, massive unemployment, poverty, high food prices, children being gunned down daily, unprecedented, brutal, sadistic abuse of women and children. And these people shameless to come here to ask to vote for red, to vote for the PNM. Shameless. Dr. Bodoe told us the health system is one that is killing more people than saving lives. A water crisis that feels like we live in the 1800s in a time of backwardness and neglect. Here in Quinam, Morne Diablo, the incompetent government, as others have told you, been starving you all for water. They try to come on Mamagayu, the Minister of Public Utilities. What's his name again? Gonzalez. Come down here to put a pipeline in Morne Diablo. Anybody remember that? Not long ago here. It was a standpipe, right? To run a water line. Mamagai. What they did was they ran a line from Scott Roads to Morne Diablo. But it only ran for about 1 mile. But this man come to open this standpipe down here, knowing that this local government by-election. So they are fooled by their tricks. Do not be fooled. And since they run the water line, they probably get water that day alone. And after that, no water in the line. Papi show. Mama guy, don't get trained up, don't get fooled. High up in Morne Diablo, no water running on that line. And here, residents are twice a month if you're lucky to get water. Always remember, elections have consequences. This is why this by-election matters. We must give the PNM no oxygen. We must give them no fuel. We must take them out of the PDRC. This is why it is very important to come out and vote for the UNC. Vote for your candidate, Sarah, as we all know, on Monday, June 17th. Okay? Because a vote for the UNC is for people-centered governance policies to return our country and our citizens to a state of economic stability and peace. Your UNC government, which will form the next government in Trinidad and Tobago, will implement these policies. Policies for peace, policies for economic stability, and policies for safety. Easy access to legal firearms for law-abiding citizens. Lawful rights to defend yourselves, we will implement that. Implement to defend yourself and your family. Stand your ground law so you can have a fighting chance against these brutal, murderous criminals. Home invasion laws. Lower fuel prices. What's happened with the mic, Michael? I am hearing myself. Can you hear me? Are you hearing me better? Thank you very much. Stand your ground laws, home invasion laws, lower fuel prices, reopening of the Petrotrip refinery, no VAT on 7,000 food items, free laptops to all secondary children, and tablets for primary school children. Free universal preschool or kindergarten education for all our children. Placing police officers to patrol schools to protect our children. What we are seeing in schools is not bullying, but in some cases actual violent crime. Reopen the gate to give you free access to tertiary level education. And when Gautam spoke, he spoke on the UE campus here in South, that's South UE campus. We will open that South campus. We will open it. In the same way, we will open the Couva Children's Hospital. We will lower foreign used car prices by going back to the age of 6 years instead of the current 3 years. That's how they brought up the prices for you all. We will have a comprehensive review of the demerit system and a halt to the oppressive and abusive ticketing of motorists. We will have an economic transformation plan with road poles across the country. The expansion of the Children's Life Fund to cover more types of illnesses. Dr. Bodoe is well aware of these matters. Land for the landless. We have started that program. We will begin construction of the San Fernando to Mayaro Highway. We will repave our roads. Between 2010 and 2015, we had the largest road repair program in the nation's history. We will do it again. We will implement a comprehensive traffic alleviation plan. You all spend too much time tied up suffering in traffic. We must have a proper road traffic alleviation plan. Water for all. When we went into office in 2010, only 18% of the population of TNT was receiving a 24/7 supply. 18%. Back then, when we took office, WASA was providing 69% of the country with full 24/7 water supply. We did it once, we can do it again with your help. We'll create 55,000 new jobs. We did that 2010, to 2015, and we did not put a single new tax, but we created the jobs. We are all for lowering taxes. We are against the introduction of any new taxes. We'll strengthen the public procurement law, which the PNM cut it out to allow their friends and their family to benefit from the procurement projects. We are against any increase in this time in water and electricity rates. We are against the property tax. We will implement livable wages to our workers. We do not support the PNM's 4% offer. We call on government to rescind that and make a better offer. We will ensure the deregulation of the financial system to help citizens access to financial services and loans. We will make quality housing more affordable and accessible to young people. I am told in many homes, 2 or 3 generations of a family live in the same house or apartment. They sleep on the floors because the price of land and houses is out of their reach. We have to make housing more affordable. This government has not built any new houses, none whatsoever. All those houses they pretend that they want to hand out were built under the government island. These are just some of the policies why you must come out in your numbers, vote for Sarah Sukhdeo on Monday, June 17th, 2024. Mark the date, I say mark that down. Mark down Monday, June 17th, 2024. And from 6 a.m., find yourself at the polling stations. We will help you if you need transport while the teams are walking the ground. Please tell them so we know you need transport on election day. And make the effort to come out. Now you say, well, Sarah done win already. Don't try that. Don't try that. It is election day when the fat lady sings at the end of the day at 6 p.m. and the votes are counting. Then you have won. You have to come out. You must come out. So they say, well, Sarah done. She win yet. Huh? Make sure every vote counts. And look at what happened in Lengua Indian Walk. Tied, you know. We tied with the PNM. First we won it, then they won it, then they tied, whatever. The rest is history. The point is, one more vote would have made that difference, that we would have had that candidate, Nicole, inside of the Prince Town Corporation. Don't make that mistake, this wrongs. Every single vote counts. Every single vote counts. Now today is what, the 1st of June, eh? We just started June, so we had January, February, March, April, May. 5 months of the year have gone. 5 months. I know how much murders are. Over 238 murders. You have more murders than days in the year. We have babies being murdered in a demonic manner. Women being tortured and assaulted in the most horrific manner. People being gunned down in the streets. It is like a war zone. There is chaos, there's destruction, sadistic brutality. 6 violent torture reigns. And in these areas in this deep south, where we are, there was a time not very long ago when crime was something that was very rare. Very rare in these areas. We are safe, we are peaceful, we are comfortable. Not anymore. Not anymore. And you want to ask for the vote? PNM wants to come to you here to ask you to vote for them. As Mohini said, run them. No vote for the PNM. No vote, run them. Our country is in a state of anarchy. Citizens are terrified and living in their own personal states of emergency. In contrast to the brutal reality facing regular, unarmed, unprotected citizens. That's what happens. Ministers of government and their families, they continue to enjoy life under heavily armed security. Who is paying for that? Taxpayers paying for that. The UNC support this government. They complain we don't support them in Parliament. We helped them to pass over 35 crime-fighting bills since 2015 to now. It is reflected in the Parliament's records. Yet the violent crime crisis continues to spiral out of control because they cannot implement anything. They cannot operationalize anything. You have operational deficits in every sector in the country because of the incompetence of this government and its ministers. Minister Hines was appointed Minister of National Security on April 21, 2021. Today, as I said, 1st of June 2024, and his term as minister has seen a terrifying increase in bloody and violent crimes of all types. Some facts are, during High's current tenure as Minister of National Security, let's take it in. One person is murdered every 16 hours on average. On average, one person murdered every 16 hours. 2, 605 reported murders in 2022 was the highest annual murder total in our nation's history under this government. 575 reported murders in 2023 was the second highest annual murder total in our nation's history. One person is reported missing on average every 12 hours. One person reported missing on average every 12 hours. Brutally violent home invasions where citizens are beaten and tortured occur every day. Robberies, rapes, woundings, and shootings have besieged our nation. Kidnappings for ransom have restarted and are on the increase. Extortion of business people by criminals is out of control. Rowley's wicked continuation with the incompetent Sleepy Hines as minister is an act of purposeful evil being committed against this population today. And they want to come to ask you to vote for the PNM. Run them! Run them! Run them! Our UNC local government campaign last year was about making our country more secure for everyone. That is what we want to do for every one of you. Secure your lives and your livelihoods. We will bring back all your lost joy through greater security. We will not just borrow ideas, we will invent systems for greater security. We will make every aspect of our country super secure. Why will this work? Well, if there is greater security, you can go night fishing once again, right down the road at the end of Bunsey Traces. You can go down for limes, what you call them, bonfires on the beach. You can do all those things that brought you happiness. Right here on Morne Diablo, as I say, the fishing and so on. That will bring joy. With greater security, you can go on that late evening beach line with your family. You can go down to Quinam. That'll bring joy. With greater security, you can make your nightlives however late you want them to be in Pinal. That will bring joy. If there is greater security, you can sit in your patio, in your garden, in your yard at any hour you please. You could do barbecues, you could do cook-up, do a meal outdoors, things we used to do and now people are afraid to do. They've taken away all the joy and happiness from our lives by their incompetence with the crime wave. With greater security, you will rediscover the joy of a good sleep. Do you sleep peacefully? No, every little noise you hear. You live in fear, you cannot get a good deep sleep. Nothing is as refreshing as sleeping well night after night. Most important, simple thing like that, people can't do. Even where I live up in Philippines there, every little noise and every dog barking, you have to worry what's happening. You have to worry, and I think in every family, that is that fear. Taking away your sleep, taking away your happiness and joy. Sleeplessness is a consequence of constant worrying and fear. We know the source of this national worry: fear, hopelessness, sleeplessness. You all can't sleep in your homes under this government. We have criminals invading your homes. We have the PNM trying to take it away with property tax. So the criminal invaded your house, but the PNM want to take away your house and put in property tax for you. Inheritance tax, all they're about is tax, 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 borrow, 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 borrow. That's all the PNM knows. They have not created a single income revenue stream in the almost 9 years they've been there. Nothing to bring in money, but tax, tax, spend, spend, and borrow, borrow, borrow. That's all they can do. When we feel secure, we feel less anxious. We feel less scared when we are secure. We have clearer hands, clearer heads. We can laugh no more. We can have fun in the open. We can have fun without being burglar-proofed. We don't need to be cooped up and caged up. When we feel secure, we become more trusting. And this is so important for greater joy. Trust. Trust. We don't want to live our lives constantly suspicious of everybody. We don't want to live our lives stereotyping everybody. People prefer friendliness over aggression. People prefer love over hate. People prefer happiness over despair. People prefer pleasure over anger. People prefer equality and not inequality. This is just human nature. No doubt about this. So look at the societies where there's low crime, countries with low crime. They are always found to be the happiest countries in the world. And always the places most people in the world would like to live. And they are pretty rich countries as well. If we are safer, kinder, happier, more trusting, hundreds of thousands more of our citizens will share in the economic pie. Every day, hundreds of thousands of our citizens, both at home and abroad, are sending strong signs to the government that they have made TNT a miserable place. 24 hours a day, we are switched on to fair responses when we should be smiling. We always talk about UNC family values. Family values are trust, warmth, belonging, acceptance, joy. Family values, as we know in our UNC, also include fearlessness. Fearlessness. We in our party have to take advice from everyday people about the best quality of life we can all have. Given all that we are blessed with, we are not in our party because we feel we own this country. We're in our party because we see ourselves as servants, not owners. We are a proper, extremely organized party. We are not playing a party to win Band of the Year competition. We are in this a serious business. For the length of time this government has been in power, the only big idea is how to find ways to take more of your money to give to their economic parasite friends. Their idea of national income is to take your money. That is rank laziness and incompetence. They should be punished for that. And they will be come the 17th June. Make sure to put your X next to the rising sun. Everyone is seen every day. People's salaries are going down instead of up under this government. There is only one way to see that. Every day under this government, life is getting harder, darker, deadlier. Let us bring back joy in the simple fun things, as I say, in Quinam, Morne Diablo. This government likes to throw around a lot of statistics from outside to make you believe the country is doing well and that they have done something. But the truth is, many countries look good on paper with ratios and percentages and statistics, when in fact, when you dig deeper, the reality is people is heartbreaking and people are suffering. Working class families struggle daily to get by. Even though they may be employed, this government, instead of creating opportunity and hope, their only solution, as I said, is more taxes, increased water, increased electricity rates, which will make your life so much harder. If you have to pay more for your property, rent, electricity, water, where will you get the extra $700 to $900 more every month to pay these increases and taxes from this government? Things are already hard enough. It means cutting back on groceries. It may mean cutting back on your children's schooling, cutting back on extra lessons, cutting back on life insurance programs and payments, and even cutting back on your occasional family outings. The PNM has asked you to give up what you don't have, and then they engage in lies and trickery. I've warned you before, I'm warning you again. Watch out for their dirty tricks, their lies, and desperate, underhanded tactics. I am told that while on the walkabouts with Sarah and the team, they discovered that the PNM was telling people they need a PNM party card to vote in elections. That is a lie. It is a blatant lie. All you need to vote on the 17th of June is what? National ID card. That's all you need to vote. You don't need a PNM card. And Sarah talk about things wrapped up in the t-shirts and things. Hey, take it. Take it. And on the 17th of June, go out and put your X next to the rising sun. And I have a lot of sisters. I see all the women as either a daughter or sister or mother. But I have no biological sister who is a PNM. So don't fall for the tricks and the dirty games. I have no biological sister who is a PNM. And if I did, what I'll do? Run them and disown them. Do not believe the parents' lies in this nation. When they come to campaign, ask them about the property tax. Ask them about the lack of water. Ask them about increasing the electricity rates, water rates. When they come begging for your vote, run them. Run them. No violence, just run them. Go from here. When you see red, this is like a red flag. You might get violent. Don't desist. Don't get violent. Just say bye. Goodbye. Goodbye. So my friends, this by-election is important as all other elections you will vote in. And it is particularly important because many people feel by-election is not good voting for. But they do, because we are on a trail of elections that will take us to form the next government. This will be the first one here, and the second in Legua. We are a journey to victory, and therefore we must not have any obstacle here, no stumbling block here in Quinam, Morne Diablo. And that PDRC, Penal David Regional Corporation, must remain the fortress of the UNC. Must remain the fortress of the UNC. So people of Quinam, Morne Diablo, you have a lot riding on your shoulders. Sarah has big shoes to fill in dearly departed Chairman Dipty. And you have a duty and a commitment not to let down the rest of the UNC in PDRC and in the country. So you have a very important job, a very important duty. And all this talk, we enjoyed the meeting very well, very nice. We'll enjoy the doubles after, I hope. Yes, yes. And, but as I said, the campaign continues, and on that day, on the 17th, just come out and vote. This election is about ensuring that every citizen, from a young child in the classroom, to the hard-working parent, to the young person striving to better themselves, that they have a chance, not just to survive, but they also have the chance to strive and do well. About electing representatives who love the people and are committed to serving people at all times. This election is about electing a party with a track record that shows you that we, the UNC, can create a society where opportunities are abundant for all, where the economy flourishes, where our children inherit a country filled with hope and promise. I say then, Monday, June 17th. Come out in your numbers. Vote for our UNC candidate, Sarah Sukde. Vote for victory for the people of Quinam, Morne Diablo. UNC all the way. Put your X next to the rising sun. As I say, we are UNC and we are proud. We are yellow. The code is yellow. God bless you all. Please get home safely after tonight's meeting and hit the road again tomorrow morning. And make sure to have some good penal doubles. I thank you and God bless you. I'm told it's Mulchan Straits doubles. From Sarah the doubles man. Yes.
Whilst you are leaving, let me thank the Clark Rochelle Tassa group for providing the Tassa. Give them a round of applause. A very vibrant youth group. Let me thank the Bunsey Trace Village Council for embracing